All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to remake Code the Streets by GangStarr. So let's start by going to track one. Okay, as you can hear, we have, we just found an empty sample slot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit function and record. I'm going to hit function and settings. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm changing the sample settings to 24 kilohertz so I can see if I can get the drums in with a little less grit. Uh, but let's see if they fit in. This is only a 2 second sample slot, so let's see what happens. I think we may have gotten cut off. Yeah, we did. So I could either speed the drums up or I could just go back to 12 kilohertz. So I think I'm going to opt for the latter option. So I'm going to go to 12 kilohertz and just resample them back in at 12. All right, so here we go. One more time. All right, so that's in there. All right, so now what I'm just trying to do is just trying to make sure that I didn't get any space in the front of the sample. And it seems like it's in there pretty good, but I'm sure that once I sequence it, it will tell me something different. So hit OK twice to save, and we've done that. So I'm gonna adjust the BPM to 97. So my drums seem to be pretty good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay in track one. And the reason why I'm gonna stay in track one is this way I don't have to, if I go to track two, it'll change back to another bank. So I'm actually staying in track one. This way it kind of helps me get my samples in quicker. So I'm going back into sample mode by hitting function and record. And now I'm just about to trigger the sample and record it. So it seems like that sample's in good. Hit OK twice to save. All right. Now I'm gonna go into, let me turn this reverb off because it's kind of bothering me. As I'm going to function and sample. All right, and hit OK for edit mode. And I'm now here. I'm just turning the pitch of the sample down so I can trigger it just from hitting that middle C button. Okay. All right, so I've got my main two samples. And so I'm going to start sequencing. So first thing I'm going to do is adjust the length of track one. I'm going to bring that to 32 steps, so it's 2 bars. Okay, I'm going to turn the pre-count on. And I'm going to turn the metronome on. You only need to bring the metronome up to about 3 or 4, otherwise it's like super loud. All right, so here I'm just trying to see if the sample fits the tempo. It seems like it does. So let's actually sequence it. I'm gonna do real-time recording this week as opposed to step recording, which I did last week. So as you can see, since none of the LEDs lit up, I missed it. So second go around, I got it right on time. So let's hear how it sounds. So as you can hear, there's a little bit of space before the sample, so I just need to go into edit mode and trim that off. So I'm gonna hit function and sample. And I'm just gonna trim a bit off from the front. Not too much. All right. So bring it back a bit more. And you can use the value knob to make smaller adjustments. And as I said last week, I don't use the overlay because I'm kind of comfortable with the sample. I hit save twice. OK twice to save. Hit clear and press play. And as you can hear, the sample is triggering right on time now. So now what I'm thinking is let's use this sample in order to make a bass line for track 2. So I'm just gonna copy it. And the way to copy it is to, wait, actually I need to go back to track 1. So let me go back to track 1. And now I'm gonna copy track 1. Now go to track 2 and paste track 1 on the track 2. Now I'm just gonna mute track 1 just to make sure that I did it correctly by hitting function and 1. So there it is. Track 2 has the sample. So I'm hitting function and filter to turn on a low pass filter. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this middle knob right here to turn down the envelope, because I don't want the envelope to affect the sample. I just wanted the sample to remain static. Okay, excuse me, the filter to remain static. So I use that first knob to turn down a cutoff. Then I hit function and shift basically to put shift lock on, and now I'm using that same knob to adjust the resonance of the sample. All right, so now you can hear we got a bass line going, and we also got the first sample going. So what I'm gonna do on track 1 is do the same thing, function and filter, but I'm gonna go till I get to high pass filter, adjust the envelope depth to 0, and turn the cutoff, and then now I'm going to function shift so I can adjust the resonance. Put the resonance to 0 so the sample doesn't like screech and squelch so much. Okay, so now I've got track 1, the filter kind of high pass, and track 2 with the filter low pass. So use that as a bass line. So once I have this all set up the way I want it, I can add the drums. All right, let's go to track 3. All right, find the sample. All right, so this is a 1-bar loop, so I don't have to adjust the length. So I hit record and play to go. So I'm gonna let it go back around, because for some reason when you try to trigger something, when the sequencer just starts, it never really catches. So I just always let it go around one time. All right, so definitely triggered at the right time, but there's some space in front of the sample. So let's go back into sample edit, and let's just trim a bit off the front. So I'm just trimming a little off the front, so I can just kind of get it to trigger at the right time when it plays. That sounds about right. Hit OK. Wait, hit clear to get out of there. Oh, we're good. Turn this metronome off now. All right. So we're almost done. There's one more sample that has to be recorded in. So I'm gonna put that on track 4. So here I am going to find an empty sample slot. Okay, now that I found an empty sample slot, function and record. And I'm gonna get this kind of like a sine wave in, which is from the beginning of a KRS-One record. Okay, and I said okay twice to save it. So as you can hear, it's like ringing out still while I let my finger off. So what I'm gonna do is adjust the release so it doesn't still play so much. Now I'm gonna hit function and voice mode to make it mono, and then hit function and adjust in order to adjust the legato, because this is a part that DJ Premier is actually scratching in, and so I'm gonna try my best to try to imitate that. So it's kind of like almost like a really quick pitch bend. So let's see what I can do. Okay, not gonna lie, kind of feeling this. So let's actually go back in and let's do some mixing first, because I'd rather mix it and then I can put that part in. So I'm gonna go to each track. I'm gonna hit function and shift to turn shift lock on. I'm gonna go to each track. Track 1, I'm just turning it down. Okay. Track 2, just turned it down. Track 3, I turned it down, but now I'm turning it up until I think the drums are where they could be, a little under where they could be, because I'm gonna add some effects to the drums a little bit later. Bass line, bring that up. Main sample, let's bring that up. All right, now that we got those 3 in a nice nice level for each one. I'm gonna go in and put this on track 2, so I'm putting the tilt effect on track 2. This tilt effect, since I've already got it, the bass, since I already got the filter on it, I can put another effect on top. And this tilt effect really helps bring the bass out a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go to, wait a minute, I just realized something. I have the shift lock on, so it's not affecting what I thought it would. So now let's, yeah, here we go. Yeah. All right. So that tilt effect really works well on the bass lines. Okay. So now let's go to track 3 and let's give those drums a little bit of extra oomph so they can cut through the mix a bit more. So track 3. Yeah. So track 3 is go function effects until I get to the compressor. So right now you don't hear it very much, but as I start to adjust these, you will see that the drums will be more in your face. And that is the effect I'm looking for with the drums. All right, drums sound good. So now I'm gonna put an overall effect on the entire track by hitting function and reverb until I get to the vinyl effect. And the vinyl effect really just makes everything stand out. Okay, so at this point, I think it's a good time to play the final result. So that is my remake of Code of the Streets by GangStarr. It's your boy Cheesy producing. I'm signing off for Beatmakers and Squad. Peace.